Hello, everyone. Welcome to Not Easily Broken Ministry. I am Prophetess Angie Allen. I am here to give you a warning this morning. I pray that you take this message, you ask God to give you revelation to it. I was woken up 2:00 in the morning from a dream that I had. And God began to show me what is to take place. He didn't give me time. He didn't give me day. He didn't give me an hour. But I will discuss this in a little bit. So as I was in this dream, he began to show me it was 6 tornadoes lined up in a row. And as I was seeing this, there was a 7th piece that pulled up. As for a little bit, I thought it was the 7th tornado. But what it began to show me was it was fire that was on the land. And as that fire was presented itself, it was letting me know how it was separated from the tornadoes. As I began to look at this, I also heard in the background, there was a lot of chaos going on. And through someone's cell phone, I heard this is happening all over the world. And as I began to hear that, someone else said, and it's happening in Lagos. From all of which was taking place, God switched me into another scene. And as I begin to go to this other scene, I remember saying I need to find protection to cover myself. Then he took me back to the scene where there were the 6 tornadoes and the fire. And as I was looking, I began to see a woman appear. It's like as if she was coming from behind the building. And when she came from behind the building, she began to weep. And as she was weeping, before I knew it, I saw the wind was kind of pulling her and someone was coming to grab her to get her to safety. And before that took place, I remember a man coming from behind the building from out of the sky and landed in front of her. He was dead. And as he landed in front of her, internally, I knew God let me know that was her spouse. And she began to weep even harder. The person took that woman and they disappeared. And I remember I was taken from that scene and I was brought back to where I was at, which was some type of building. As I was in this building, I remember I looked out the window and it was dealing with downtown. So it was as if many of the downtowns are going to go through some destruction. So as that was taking place, I remember saying I needed to get on the elevator to go down. So but before that happened, let me go back a little bit. Before that happened, when I did see the tornado and what happened to the woman's husband, it seemed as if the tornado was coming my way. And I remember I was with an employee on my job. And I remember telling the individual, we need to get down. So I reached over, grabbed the individual to duck down. And I remember the tornado passed over. And when it passed over, it was as if it never hit the area that I was in of protection. So after that bypass, I remember saying, I need to get on the elevator. I need to go down for whatever reason. But when I got on the elevator, it shot me up 10 feet higher. So when it shot me up 10 feet higher, I was on another floor. And I remember having a discussion with some of the people there. I don't remember what I was saying, but I do remember explaining some things to them. And then he took me back out. So I kept going into these different scenes as it relates to what was taking place. But from it all, the main thing is we need to get our household in order. We need to get ourselves together. We need to repent of our sin. We need to get in a position and really truly have a relationship with God, because everybody is not going to be protected from this tornado. I believe that what God was saying is there is something else is to take place upon this earth more than we can ever imagine. What we saw with this flood was just the beginning. And when I began to ask him about the fire, he said, that is my judgment. Do you hear what I'm saying? He said, that is my judgment. Please take it serious with your relationship with God. I also began to ask God, Is there a date or a time for this to happen? No. He began to tell me, he said, if I was to give a time and the date, then it would just leave space for people to continue to do whatever it is they want to do and thinking they can make it right before the day of. God said he's not disclosing time and date. I am not going to be the only one speaking on this matter. So please take heed to the warning. Warning come before destruction. I have released a word last year pertaining to the storm that we had this year. I'm not saying anyone didn't pay attention, but what I'm saying is take heed to the warning. Warning come before destruction. I will not be the last to speak on this matter. And it's going to be someone that's going to even go probably even deeper. God allow us to speak in parts. There's something else is about to take place. And God is saying his judgment. His judgment is hitting upon the earth. Listen to what I'm saying. That fire was presented for a reason. I didn't see the fire burning up things, but it presented itself ready for judgment. I pray you take this message and you pray about it. You ask God to give you clarification. And what is it that you ought to do? But we ought to take things very seriously. We ought to take our life seriously. And we ought to really get to a place of understanding, know who is Jesus Christ. Get yourself established. Get to a point that you begin to understand even the more of what God is saying to you. What are you supposed to be doing and things of that nature? This is a serious matter. Trust me, it is. God give warning before destruction. And I have given you a warning. Take heed and be blessed.